It's time for the BSing with the Guys live podcast.
Welcome to the BSing with the Guys live show. If you're catching us after the fact, stay with us. We're going to dive into the Grammys, where these out-of-touch celebrities and their protective bubbles pat each other on the ass while spitting on the very laws that keep this country safe. We're also going to find out what is going on with these AI bots actually having their very own social media platform where they discuss annihilating humans. And NFL's being racist again. We're going to get into that. Dan Bongino was back podcasting and taking no prisoners. And I want to get into how Trump may be both a winner and a loser when it comes to the latest dump of these Epstein files. All that and whatever else crosses our minds and wherever the chats take us, let's get into it. Justin, did you sit around with the family watching the Grammys last night?
Nope, I refuse to.
What? Dude, how are you going to know how to function in society without celebrities telling you what to do and how to feel?
I just bump into shit all day and kind of waddle around.
These fucking out-of-touch celebrities, man. It's so crazy. I mean, I think they, like Bad Bunny and this Billie Eilish and what's that, Kalani? How you pronounce her name? Kalani or something like that. And even Joni Mitchell, turning that stage into their own fucking like soapbox for their anti-ice, tirades. I mean, this ice out chant and all that shit.
It was The Rock's daughter too, huh?
Yeah. They all had their little pins on, and I mean, this coming from multi-millionaires living in gated mansions, flying in their private jets and surrounded by armed security, just basically lecturing us about how evil it is to enforce immigration laws. I can't imagine that the ratings are doing great with that nonsense anymore as far as the Grammys and all that bullshit go.
No, it can't be.
Their music sucks, dude, that much. Dude, that's all I can say. Their music sucks that much that's what they have to rely on, dude, to get their name out there. I mean, when you see like Justin Bieber in his boxer underwear, or who was the broad? I still haven't figured her name out with her dress attached to her nipples, dude. And it's like, God, one misstep and that looks painful, dude. One misstep looks painful, but I don't know. I didn't watch it, dude. I'm not going to watch that kind of bullshit, but yeah, I did. I saw it, and it's like some excerpts of it, and dude, it's total shit.
I like the nipple dress, bro.
And that's fine.
I forgot about that.
We're all entitled to our own likes and opinions, dude.
I think the only one that actually had any type of balls was Jelly Roll. He got up there and thanked Jesus multiple times. And wasn't afraid to express his faith. And even afterwards, I think they got him on the red carpet or something where they were asking him about the ICE stuff. And he basically just like, look, what do you want to know? Why do you want to know how I feel about it? I'm just a dumb redneck singing songs, basically, just like, why?
And what's the best response,
so
dude?
Yeah, it was a real good one, and that's how every celebrity should face, when it comes to these politics. We don't need lectures on stage, which I'm with you. I don't watch the shit anyway. It's just funny when I start seeing the reports on it that they're still up to the same old shit. And it's like, who are you preaching to? Just these room full of fucking hypocrites?
Absolutely, dude. Yeah, absolutely, dude. That's what they preaching to. And I sit back and I look at Jelly Roll. God, he so took the high road, man. And I just don't know if it gets any better than that. And it's like, sing what you want to sing, which I think most of the music out there today is shit. And this is all they have to make their public name is downplaying ICE or the federal government or Trump, whatever it is. Their music's shit. So when I say that, like Jelly Roll, dude, you took the high road, dude. You did the right thing, regardless of your political opinion. But I don't think you're a man that should be speaking about it. And I think, like I said, I think he did the right thing, Yeah,
really and I also wonder, like, who, are they actually swaying anybody anymore? It's like, who's taking these Hollywood phonies serious? I can't imagine many people now. I'm sure there's a few young people that might latch on to what they say, but I know back in the day, like maybe a celeb endorsement could, swing an election or start a trend, but now, I mean, they're like that your crazy fucking uncle at Thanksgiving that's just, talking about fucking chemtrails and shit. But it just like everyone just kind of nods politely and goes on about their conversation. But I don't know. I mean, we've seen that this song and dance for years. I mean, from Meryl Streep, her endless Trump bashing, and Leonardo DiCaprio preaching about climate change while yachting around the globe like a fucking floating, carbon footprint. I mean, you would think the public had to have tuned that shit out long ago.
I mean, come on, Shane and Justin. I mean, come on, dude. You have got to have the utmost respect for the Bruce Springsteen song or the Barbara Streisand song. Come on, dude. I mean, come on, dude. I mean, it's just so moving, and it moves me to even want to hate him even more, dude. To be honest,
Bruce Springsteen. Look, Bruce got on AI and said, "Look, write me a song down in ice." I mean,
absolutely.
That song was so fucking cringy. I'm like, what in the hell?
It's so, and I can't forget. I cannot forget to announce. I'm old, dude, but I cannot forget to announce Hanoi Jane out there with her rhetoric bullshit out there, dude. It throws me for a loop. I love it.
That's
dude.
fun to watch, man. It's fun. I don't remember. You remember when Ricky Gervais went off?
Yes, I do.
When he went off,
I was just playing that before we got on the air, dude. Between me and my wife, dude. Dude, off the cuff.
I mean, he just reminding everyone that these celebs aren't listening. I mean, they're just virtue signaling, all for applause from the little echo chamber, man. And it is what it is. Like I said, I don't watch it, but it's all over the fucking timeline the next day after one of these Grammys or whatever these award shows are, where these damn celebrities fill the place up and have to give their political speeches instead of just accepting their award for their shitty music and moving on. Everybody's got to try to make some sort of political point up there, and it probably shows in the ratings that nobody gives a fuck. Nobody's watching that shit anymore.
It really doesn't, dude.
I don't know.
Doesn't, Shane. Yeah.
I guess everybody feels like they have to say the right thing when they get out there and want to be part of the in club. And I'm sure in their little bubble, that's the type of shit that's talked about all the time. You know what I mean? But the problem is, like I said, they're shitting on the brave men and women who are out there protecting our sovereignty while they hide behind the walls and these bodyguards. I mean, they have no fears in life when it comes to security. They're not inviting people into their mansions as much as they want to talk about these open borders. None of them have open gates saying, "Hey, come on in." I mean, none of you know what I mean. They're over there in Beverly Hills. Justin Bieber and his wife are totally they're safe as fuck from any type of 100%. Negative impact that open border may have.
Yeah, dude, these liberals and private jets and Jesus, dude. I take your word with a grain of salt. It's just the way I feel about it. It's such bullshit, dude. It really is, dude. You really don't know what it is to live the life of the common fucking man,
Well, the worst part is some of them may have, but then they forget very quick. They get into rubbing them elbows with all them Hollywood elites, and then everybody has to feel the same way, or you're ostracized. I mean, you're pushed out. Sure. They know they'll never work again. But there are some that just know how to play it where they just shut the fuck up. I mean, you don't have to fucking get up there and give this, political speech about everything. And it's like, that's not what you were there to celebrate. I thought it was, the Grammys. Instead, it turns into like a democratic function, like it's put on by fucking Kamala. It's crazy.
It's another mouthpiece of the left, dude, and it's funded, and it is, dude. It's funded. It's a mouthpiece. They're these celebrities, and dude, Jesus Christ, dude. Yeah. Anyway, dude, they're all fucked up, dude.
Yep. Well, what y'all want to get into? Y'all want to get into Trump? Somebody in the comments want to know we're going to talk about Trump. Let's get into Trump.
Let's talk
about Trump, because I was
what's Daddy doing?
Go ahead, Justin.
Well, I was kind of put it in the title that it looks like he's a winner and a loser when it comes to the Epstein stuff, and what I meant by that was basically that the rollout in communications, they were handled pretty poorly when it came to the Epstein stuff. The way the administration messaged and timed the release fed into perceptions of hiding something, even though the law was ultimately followed, but the optics here is about the presentation. Deadlines were missed without strong upfront explanations, and the piecemeal kind of drops instead of one big transparent release. Right. I mean, heavy redactions without always clear reasons given right away on why. Right. It's like, promising some big reveal, but delivered it in drips and drabs with, fucking black bars everywhere. People naturally start wondering why, including myself, what's going on with this? So, that's why I say, I think that's the loser part of it, is just the way that they rolled this shit out. And what Trump's reasoning is the fake or twisted info would spread like wildfire and get treated as fact. Okay. And a lot of people that were innocent in all this would start having their names, damaged by this when they didn't really do anything. Not saying everybody's innocent that was in the files, but when you start, he warned during the campaign basically that once the files dropped, the internet would explode with misinformation, hoaxes, cherry picking, out of context bits, fabricated claims, and people would believe it without checking, treating it as fact, which they did, Right. Yep. And that's kind of what happens with any of this. So he warned that was going to happen. If we release this, there's going to be names in there. There's going to be people picking little sections of stories and shit and running with it. And that's exactly what went on as soon as it was dropped, I mean, it doesn't, like I say, exonerate everybody that was involved in it, but he did have a point to that. And there was nothing in there that tied him into anything illegal. So that's why I was saying I think he was still a winner in it. I know there's some accusations that were thrown around, but none of it was proved. It was all dug into, and they came up with nothing. There was no credible source saying anything that Trump did wrong. So I think that's how he won. But like I said, the way that they rolled it out was a major loss for this administration. It didn't look good at all.
No, the time frame, Shane, I agree with you. And the time frame that it took them to roll these 3.5 million documents out. But dude, I mean, like we've always said on this cast, if they had something on Trump, just something, even with that, it would have been released years and years ago to shut him down. So, but I mean, look, the ones to fail, dude, are the Bill Gates and, and the Prince Andrew and the Bill Clinton. Let's talk about that, and I think when you look at it deep, and those are your co-conspirators that were on that island the most. And there was a lot with what's his name? What's his name? Tucker? No, was it Tucker? Chris Tucker? Yeah, Chris Tucker was there. And there's a bunch of other ones, dude. And I'm sure maybe nothing went down. Everybody wanted to go to that island. That was the hot spot to be, man. But when you get into the meat and potatoes of who was doing what, I don't know. Prince Andrew, he's a piece of shit, dude. There's videos, there's pictures.
But
he's a piece of shit. But
you said it though. The problem is like, if Chris Tucker's name was in it or whatever,
or just Madonna or Michael Jackson or
it doesn't mean they were doing anything illegal. And the same has to apply to everybody involved. I know everybody. Yes. There's a big portion of the country that hates Trump and believes there's nothing good about him and looking for any kind of confirmation bias to latch on to. And this is a major one because someone calls some anonymous, some tip line and accused him of doing something third party. Like, hey, I have a friend that told me this happened and this is what she said. And then that was the end of it. You know what I mean? Right. So if we're going to say that Trump was guilty because of these accusations, then we got to say everybody involved in it was, including the Democrat side. But they don't want to play that game, though. It's all about, no, Trump did it, just Trump. They act like it was a Trump-Epstein conspiracy going on, and it couldn't be furthest from the truth, at least what's been proven. I mean, poor PR, basically, it isn't a crime or evidence of guilt. I mean, Trump signed that Transparency Act himself, or the Transparency Law, pushing for openness. I don't know what else these people want. I mean, it came out. His name was brought up a couple times in it, but there was nothing, not even a shred of proof that he did anything that he shouldn't have been doing. So, I mean, the only thing that came out in it that kind of proved where he was looking at or how he was feeling about all this was when Epstein was bitching about being kicked out of Mar-a-Lago because he's being a fucking creep. So Trump told his ass he had to fucking go. They don't want to talk about that email, though.
No.
You know?
No. Why would you? Yeah.
But look, you get too far into, trying to give Trump the benefit of the doubt and all hell breaks loose. And, so I won't stay on it too long because it's not making excuses. It's just saying you have to apply the law to everybody. Accusations don't prove crimes. So if you're going, like I said, if you're going to play that role with one person, and you got to play it with everybody involved, or you can't play it at all. I mean, you can't cherry pick who you want to say, well, that's true. That allegation's false, though that one's true. It's like, no, you can't do that. Because that's all any of this is allegations,
Right.
As far as this release. I mean, we know Epstein was tried. He was convicted. Poor guy got strangled in prison, just, minding his own business. According to the FBI, he did it himself, so.
Yeah. Cameras didn't record for 7 minutes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Same old shit. Yeah, that happens all the time, Shane. All around the country, dude. All these DOC places,
Yeah. Well, like you said, man, it doesn't bother me that, Trump's name was in this, or even, I mean, we talked about the other night, if there was any proof that he did anything with some underage child, he's got to go. Right. He's got to suffer the same consequences anybody else should. Yeah. But people don't want proof when it confirms their fucking biases. It makes no sense. None of this shit would hold up in a court of law because somebody called a tip line saying so-and-so told me something. It's like that you can't go by that. I mean, me and you could have called that tip line and just made up some name and said, yeah, they were there too. I mean, I saw them there, so-and-so told me that her cousin's uncle's aunt was there and this is what happened. You can't do that. That's just not how the real world works. So the problem is people, they don't live in the real world anymore when it comes to Trump. It's all about their agenda, which is getting rid of him, by any means necessary. Lie, steal, cheat, murder, you name it. Yeah, exactly. So, So it's just weird to watch, when you step back and look at it. And I mean, you don't have to be involved in a MAGA cult to think that it's just not how, processes go. It's not how you do that. I mean, you don't just take a bunch of unproven allegations and then pin it on someone. Nobody would want that happening to them. Nobody would want somebody just saying you did something that terrible and doesn't have an ounce of proof. And now you're looked at by the rest of the world by like this evil, demon that did this shit that you're like, oh, I didn't do that. It's okay when it's Trump though, or Republicans in general right now. So anyway, that's all I got to say about that. I'm not getting into all the Trump Epstein shit too far tonight because that shit always goes off the rails because they could release every video, every recorded at Epstein Island and never once see Trump on it, and it would not matter. People would still somehow twist that shit true. That Trump was running all of this, so it doesn't matter.
He might have been the one filming it, dude. Yeah,
that's what they'll say. Well, he was holding the camera. That's a good point, Brad. You're starting to think like them, dude. That's awesome.
Well, whatever it takes. Dude.
But no, that's a argument that's never going to be settled. I mean, it never is because for one, we'll never know the fucking truth of what went down on that island.
Yes,
ever. That's the problem. We'll never know the truth. We'll never know if Trump was really that involved in it or if he wasn't. You just kind of gotta go by how you would approach any legal case, which is where's the proof before you pin it on the person. And they haven't shown any. That's just bottom line. They haven't shown any. I mean, you can choose to believe what was said in the emails. That's up to you. But that doesn't make it real just because you choose to believe it, And there's plenty of people that choose to believe it. And if it's true and they can prove it, then fuck yeah. I mean, he's got to go now. But you'll never prove that shit,
Absolutely.
I personally don't think there's anything there to prove. That's why. I mean, that's just my personal opinion on it.
Absolutely.
So do you think these are all of them? You think there's going to be more?
I think they said
everything?
they released that was it. If I'm not mistaken,
it.
I think they've released. Yeah. I mean, of course, there's probably way more than we'll ever know or see, but according to them, I think that was the last big dump. Basically, nothing's changed. Nothing came from it.
Of course not.
Just more accusations and more, names being thrown out there that probably had nothing to do with a lot of the illegal activity that was going on. And back to the earlier point, that's exactly what Trump said was going to happen. Because I remember he said that a while back, and it had me wondering too, like, why does this man not want these files coming out? And he said one of the reasons was there's going to be a lot of innocent people hurt by this. And I mean, when you start throwing names out without any proof at all, well, that's an innocent person possibly being hurt by this. I mean, I'm not saying I wasn't in the room. I was never on Epstein Island, so I don't know if that was a legit reason in Trump's mind or if he was just trying to put off releasing them, but that's what he did say. And as soon as they did release them, that's exactly what started happening. People start picking little chunks of things and not really giving you the entire context of stuff. And I don't think that's just for the Epstein files. It happens with everything that's politicized, but I guess why would this be any different? So, but anyway, like you said, I wasn't getting on here to take up for fucking Trump all night long. I just think anybody that's being accused of such heinous crimes, there should be some proof before you pin that on that person,
Sure.
So,
and on the double take of that, it's like, God, I mean, Bill Gates is mentioned. I mean, with STDs.
Well,
and
that's how I approach that. I'm not a Bill Gates fan. I think I can't stand Bill Gates because I think he's a corrupt, dirty, just another one of these celebrities that think, everybody's beneath them. And, that you can just step on and crush whoever you want to get where you're going. I'm not a fan of Bill Gates, but at the same time, there was no proof to what that email said. It was Epstein saying that. So just because he says
100%, dude, right? Does that make it true? Right?
No, that he could have been sending that to somebody like trying to blackmail Bill Gates, because there was no proof that it didn't happen. So there ain't no telling what was all behind this. But that was another one just to throw that out about Bill Gates. It doesn't make it true. I mean, really, I'm not saying it wasn't, but it doesn't make it true just because I want to believe something bad about Bill Gates. And as soon as people get over that with Trump, their lives might start to be a little bit more positive,
Well,
they sit around all day.
Dude, that his wife divorces him, and she didn't like the relationship she was holding with Bill, that he was holding with Jeffrey Epstein, and you sit back and you read, it's like, well, look, dude. They're all and look, Trump, I don't know. Where's the proof? I guess with Trump, the rest, Bill Clinton's out there, Bill Gates is out there. There's a bunch of other ones out there.
Well,
too.
with Bill Gates, his whole divorce and all, usually when you go away and you come back and you give your wife the clap, that's usually what's going to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and say it's 100% true that he gave her some shit that she, didn't want. So that's how we're going to do it. It's 100% fact. That's what we're going with.
I heard Mom Dami's mom was there.
I did hear some goofy shit about that.
Isn't that some goofy shit, dude?
Yeah, I didn't look into it enough to really. I stopped paying attention to a lot of it. I'm like, I can't do this. Like, it's just a bunch of this one and that one, and nowadays with AI, you don't know who the fuck was where or what they did. All I know is we're never gonna get the whole truth and nothing but the truth when it comes to this Epstein shit. That's done. Right. You will never ever know the actual truth. It's probably somewhere in the middle of what everybody's claiming on each side, So I just think that it's a dead issue now. Nobody's going to be held accountable.
Just as convoluted as all of these documents are, and you can relate it back to what you just said. I mean, you're going back to where they have fucking the Trump administration is totally fucked up with the dismissal of all this bullshit and letting it out and this and that, piecemealing it. God, and even before that, it's like I still think with Trump, if something was there that was positive and that could be like, directly linked to him, it would have came out 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
And that's kind of my thing that, to any liberal or just left-leaning person or just someone who, I guess you don't have to be left-leaning to not like Trump, but someone who doesn't like Trump, to just explain why they think this information was never released when they were doing everything they could to stop this man from becoming president, even fabricating stories. But then they find, but you're telling me
trials.
Say it again.
This would be a nice criminal trial for their side, instead of forged or whatever the fuck, documents that they got him on. In New
that's
York.
what I'm saying. So you're telling me you had a legit crime that this man committed, as disgusting as what they claim, but it never seen the light of day when the other administration had access to the same shit that this one did to release? Is that what you expect anybody to believe? So
exactly.
In the chats, please, someone explain that, because they tried to take the man out by any means necessary. But you mean they held on to this?
Yes.
That it
until
makes
now
zero fucking sense. Yeah, and the only administration to release it is this one.
Exactly. That's why it makes no sense, dude. That's why it makes no sense.
It don't make any fucking sense, because there's nothing there, and the Democrats knew that. They knew it. Or they would have used that so fast. If that was the only name that would have come out of those files, would have been Donald Trump. And you know it for a fucking fact. There's no way they would have held on to that and said, well, we can't play that dirty. Like, get the fuck out of here. Right. There's no way you can explain to me why, when they had access to these files, that they would have hid something if they had an ounce of proof. So you make a good point, Brad. There's no way. And if you believe anything other than it's all nonsense, then you're crazy, because it would have been released already.
It would have been so orgasmic, man.
Fuck, dude, that would have been,
dude. It would. They'd have shut him down from the moment he came down that escalator, dude. And 10 years ago,
of course, or at least by the second term. You know what I mean? They'd have been like, all right, well, we got this. We found some proof that he was participating in activities going on Epstein Island. We have the proof now, but let's hold on to it. It's like, no, that it wouldn't happen. So get over it, people. Trump's not as bad as y'all think he is. Not saying he's perfect, but he's not what they're painting him, nor is he as pristine as the other side paints him either, but like I said, there's somewhere in the middle you can meet. And it's you believe me, if that dude was over there messing with underage children and they had that paperwork in their hands, oh my God.
I mean, for God's sakes, dude, you release videos and your pictures and all this shit of Prince Andrew. How would the left love to have a picture or video of Trump?
Yeah, I'm watching these
over
weird,
some girl. Dude. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
dude.
they showed
it's
that
such
one.
Bullshit, dude. And it's like until it's brought to my foresight, dude. I just, and even then, I don't know if I'll believe it, dude. I just don't think the man. Not to say the man wasn't having a good time in his youth, and with women. And look, he's probably a womanizer to a certain degree, but I mean, goddamn, when you got the money and the fame, but was he doing illegal children
with kids?
I don't believe, man. Yeah, I don't believe it. I don't believe it, dude.
I'm with you. There's no way I ever think Trump was faithful to any of his fucking wives. He just seems like he's too full of himself to do that.
Exactly, dude.
I get it, but nobody has ever put Trump's name in anything as disgusting as dealing with minors until all this Epstein bullshit came out. And then they just wanted you to believe he was in them, but they had zero proof of him doing anything. But they just wanted to convince the public that he was part of this shit. So they were making up things, and then, actual victims were disputing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I never saw him there, this, that, and the other. I mean, you know what I mean? But they were trying their hardest. Then, like you said, you see these pictures of Prince Andrew and Epstein himself, like, I don't know what they were doing, like kneeling on all fours, like hovering over these girls and shit on the kitchen floor and weird shit like that. Nothing like that has ever popped up of Trump. Nothing.
No.
And look,
exactly.
Like I said earlier, my intention of this wasn't just to turn into like Trump's defense team on here, but as we're talking about it, I'm just trying to make sense of it. I'm trying to make sense of how the left feels like they do when there's not an ounce of proof of anything that's being said. It's just weird to me that people take it that far because you don't like somebody that, all common sense goes out the window. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird way to live.
It's a lot of hearsay, bro. It's a lot of hearsay. It's a lot of bullshit. And here's where we are, And just like somebody commented, dude, he ran the Miss Universe pageant all through the 90s. Well, where's the evidence that he appropriately touched young children during this pageant? Where is it,
And wasn't there a story where he was like in the back, like looking at the contestants or something? I don't know, something weird came out, but that was but nothing ever came of it because you couldn't even get enough contestants together to say, he was a scumbag. So I'm with you. All of those years he was running that, and you can't compile, enough women to say that this man was a fucking dirtbag.
Right.
I mean, come on, it just think about it, people. I mean, damn. I know y'all want Trump to be, this evil fucking, just rapist and Nazi or whatever y'all want to call him, but just think about it with a little common sense. I mean,
it's all they have to run on, dude. They know.
What you got, Justin? You got a good question up there or what?
Bill Clinton's name is William?
Well, yeah. Everybody named Bill.
Is Bill not a real name?
It's always short for William. Doesn't it make sense?
It's always
no.
William Bill?
Jefferson Clinton, dude.
Yeah.
William Jefferson.
I guess
Clinton,
I've never known a Bill that was like my age. So.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's an old time thing. What you got on the screen? Who would win in a fight, Epstein or Diddy? Well, it's a tough fight right now.
I think Diddy would spread them bones all over the place, bro.
Yeah, that's a tough one right now.
Nah, I seen the video. Diddy would probably whoop his ass.
Yeah.
If they was in an elevator.
If he was a 5 foot tall woman, because Diddy knows how to handle them pretty well.
I mean,
he does, dude. He can beat the shit out of them, dude.
Yeah. Are you guys around? Pull up the one where we're drunk. I want to see it. You see the comment asking if we're drunk? Because I'm buzzing, but I'm not.
Does it fucking matter, dude?
Are you
giving
drunk?
great jobs to those who know? He said he did the dressing rooms himself. What the fuck? Are you drunk? Because I can barely make heads or tails of that. Dude has paid or given great jobs to those who know. I can't make sense. Maybe I am drunk because I don't even know what the hell that says.
I don't know either. I assume he's talking about the dressing room comments, but wasn't that on Buddy's radio show, whatever the fuck his name is?
Yes.
Long
grabbing
dickhead.
Grabbing about a pee or some bullshit like
Howard
that.
Stern?
Is that what you're talking?
Yeah, that dude. I think Trump was talking about how he owned the pageant so he could go in the back and,
Oh, yeah. Look, man, and like I said, I don't doubt, Trump had access to a lot of beautiful women and use that to his advantage. But I don't think it's to the advantage of sexually assaulting anyone, because I just don't see how, for one, you don't do that once or twice if you're that type of person. Right. You think about all the access Trump had to victims, so to say, if that's what he chose to do in life. Well, you don't stop at a couple. That's just not how those people work. So you mean to tell me all the access he had to all these gorgeous women and all that, you get a few of these kooks that they pulled up during the presidential race to give these nonsense stories, but that's it. Right. You would think they'd be coming out daily and way before he ran for president. I mean, when do these women ever wait? As soon as a man's worth billions, why wouldn't you come out? And if nothing else, try to have a civil law. That's what I mean. None of it makes any fucking sense, and none of it was even thought of until this man decided to get into politics, and that was it. That was it.
Absolutely.
And then, like you said, all the access he had to these women, and you can't get a group of them together to claim the same story. And as I mentioned, if you've got that in you, and you're that type of person to do that, you don't stop. You just don't. It's not how those sick people work when they have these sick sexual fetishes, just like pedos. They don't stop at one kid. So to think that Trump knew how to control himself sometimes, and then it's like, come on, man, y'all are goofy with that shit. Just give it up. Just give it up. At least talk about how the fucking economy shit. If you're gonna bash on them, let's talk about how the stock market's fucking plummeting.
Yeah.
You know, like
crypto, dude. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, talk about some real shit.
Unemployment, dude.
Yeah,
exactly. We can go somewhere with that.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
But anyway, well, let's move away from Trump because I don't like how heated that gets. And I promised myself again I was not going to get into it with people in the chats all night long because the last 2 episodes. I wake up in the morning still pissed off, and I don't want to do that. So we're going to have a good one tonight. But, Justin, now I want to know, you've watched a lot of NFL this year, playing your fantasy and all that shit. Did you notice the blatant racism that's going on in the league?
Yeah.
Does it seem racist when you watch a football game, like they just can't stand to employ black people?
Super duper.
I thought so, yeah, because that's what I get when I look out on the field and, it's 97% black, and I'm like, why isn't it 100%? This is ridiculous.
Well, you don't see when they're always tackling and just hitting a black man, like beating him when he's down, and like breaking their knees and shit. Like it's pretty, it's borderline.
They are violent against it. No, it starts because, of course, media's running with it. There were no black head coaches hired in this last little hiring spree. There were a few that were let go. And of course, if it's not 100%, they're not happy. It could be 90% African-American head coaches, and they'd be bitching about that last 10%. And I just don't know how people jump from we don't have enough black coaches in the league because of systematic racism in the NFL, of all places.
In the NFL, yeah.
In the NFL, right, where the goal is to win by all means, and not because a lot of these owners just want to win football games. It's a money thing. They are there to sell tickets, sell merch. In order to do that, you have to put people in the seats. And the way to do that is you have to have a team that can somewhat compete. So you try to put the best product out there to sell. That's what these owners are. They're businessmen.
That's it.
So now you mean to tell me that they would rather a losing season just to have a white coach? It just sounds so fucking ridiculous for people to say that about a league like the NFL. I mean, didn't they have end racism all over the end zone? Isn't that enough,
Apparently not. It's
apparently not.
Next year there'll be too many white fans in the stadium. It's racist. Yeah. They don't let enough black fans in, and then the NBA will be racist. Need more black players.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, look, I get feeling underrepresented. I guess if you're a minority. I get it. You want to see more people that look like you out there doing big things. I understand that. I get it. But when you break it down by numbers and you consider that it's somewhere around 13% of the population is African American. Well, there's 30, how many teams? 32 teams or something in NFL?
Yeah, there's a handful.
So how many of those do you think, like if you just go by those numbers, well, how many do you expect them to be head coaches? If you just go by that, 32 teams. So
13%.
Statistically, that would put about 4 black coaches in a 32-team league.
Yeah.
If it mirrored the demographics. So head coaches. There alone, there's more options from a particular race. We can't help that. That's just how the country is. So, I mean, I don't know what to do to change that, but they've hovered around 3 to 7, minority head coaches for a few years now. I mean, I don't know what you can do to make these people happy. And I don't mean these people by the black people, because that's not the ones. It's this fucking media, like the Wall Street Journal, that puts out, divisive articles like that. And then, of course, everybody latches on to that and says, oh, yeah, there isn't enough of them. And it's
it's like they run out of news and then they're like, how can we bring up race today?
Well, and that's true because it always generates clicks.
Every time.
I mean, it never fails.
Every time.
It never fails. I mean, I know they've got that, that Rooney rule in there where they have to interview minorities for head coach jobs, which I get. Okay, that's a step to say, well, we at least have to interview them. But does that mean you have to hire somebody if you feel like they're less qualified? I mean, that's where you get into all that DEI shit. And that never leads to anything good, because then you start putting out a shit product. And there's been some amazing, black head coaches. It's not saying that they're not. But when you're there as an owner and as a GM and you're interviewing people and you're looking at the whatever qualifications you're trying to look for in this person, well, it doesn't matter what their race is. You can't tell me that these owners of these teams are just blatantly racist and don't want to hire the best guy for the job. I refuse to fucking believe it. I refuse to believe it. I think it's just something else to give people something to bitch about. But maybe I'm wrong. That's why I don't watch it no more. Maybe the league is ran by the Klan.
I think it's a good conspiracy. I'm just trying to see what head coaches were fired. And I mean,
the coaches that were fired.
Yeah, I was just looking at with teams, and most of them were pretty ass this year, honestly.
That's my point. That's my point. The teams like Giants, Titans, Falcons, Dolphins, Ravens, Steelers, Bills, Browns, Raiders, and Cardinals all made moves, but 0 black coaches got the nod is what they're complaining about. The only minority hire was a guy by the Titans. It was a Lebanese American. So now entering this 2026, there's only 3 black head coaches, one for the Bucs, Jets, and the Texans. So, they fired some, but you can't tell me that these guys were just on top of their game. Everything was going amazing with the team, and they said, you know what? We got to have a white guy in here. We just can't do this. I mean, come on, guys. It's ridiculous. And of course, people like Ryan Clark and his dumb ass, they get up there with their megaphone shouting this stupid shit. And it's like, I don't know. I don't even know how people could feel like that in a league that is predominantly minority when it comes to, just look at the field when they're playing. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that's the best of the best, put them out there.
It probably is.
Absolutely.
Put them out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's hard to find a white receiver that's going to do better than, what they got out there. And if you can find him, I'm sure he'd make the fucking cut. But let's face it, the majority of the athletes out there, they're black, and that's fine. If that's the ones that perform and these coaches see it, hey, put them out on the field. Nobody's crying about that. Put the best of the best out there. Stop trying to ruin a fucking league with DEI,
True. So crazy to me. Oh, man. So it'll probably be next year, I guess. They already did their coach hiring, so there'll be a 75% spike in black coaches next year. Just because. Yeah.
The problem too is, 70% of the league, the players are black, but coaching, it isn't a direct pipeline from playing. Like, a lot of the players don't become coaches. Most head coaches come from offensive coordinators. And, right now there's 0 offensive coordinators of color. So it's kind of there's not much bias there. It's just a bottleneck. There's not many applicants that they feel like are qualified to move up to that head coach position. So you can't just go pick a minority out of the crowd and say, hey, we need one. It's just not enough of them, I guess, moving up the ranks. And I don't know what you do about that.
See, that's the problem, because they can do that. They can do that, and they didn't. All right? So that's where America's problem's at.
I'll take it. We'll just do that. NFL's racist. We've deemed that.
Oh, yeah.
So that's about it. But anyway.
Ben knew that. Are y'all surprised that New York is in a $12 billion deficit?
Fucking totally.
I didn't know if that was surprising news to anybody.
No, man. New York's got a lot of, I don't know, man. A lot of trouble going on over there, dude. And I don't think it's going to get any better anytime soon.
No.
But we say it all the time, man. You get, they voted for it. It's kind of like how we talk about with the president, not exactly excited about the economy and things that are going on. But myself, I voted for it. So what you going to do?
True.
I thought it was the best option compared to what they were given. I mean, not exactly happy with everything he's done. Some things are great. You know, I love the law and order aspect to what he's doing. But yeah, there's definitely some things that need improvement. But you know, the elections have consequences, right?
Yeah. And I mean, as far as like the economy right now, like, do you feel like your money doesn't go as far as it did 4, 6, 8 years ago?
Well, you know where a lot of it is misleading is
Absolutely.
because a lot of things haven't gone back since the pandemic. You know,
right.
things just skyrocketed due to a lot of it was just lack of being able to get shit, the product supply. So people are still having problems with that in some industries. And it's no different than if the government implements a tax. Well, they're never taking that tax away. So when the pandemic allowed a lot of these corporations to go up on everything, well, if you believe they were going to go back down to quote unquote normal when the pandemic ended, you're out of your mind. Why would they do that?
They never do.
No, because they get you used to spending. Not saying things haven't gone down, but they didn't go back to what we call normal, which is, you know, pre-pandemic, because things go up over time, right? I mean, everything does. But the way that it went up overnight with COVID was just a different animal. So everything just spiked. And then all of a sudden it settled down a tad, but it didn't go back to how it was pre-pandemic. So to me, that's a little misleading when you say, you know, try to blame Trump on how high things are in the grocery stores. Now, I know I'm the one on here bitching about the economy, but I'm just saying I got to give him a little bit of slack when it comes to shopping, you know, and your money not going as far right now. I just think it all started with the pandemic and it never got back to normal.
That's kind of how I feel, because I don't feel like I get any less at the grocery store than I did in 2021. You know, like I don't feel like it's really went up that much in the last few years. But I don't know. That's just me. Like I said, when we go shopping, I feel like we always kind of spend right around the same dollar amount. It's been like that for years. And I mean, we generally eat the same shit and the same amount of shit, you know?
Well,
it's never going down.
No.
And let me tell you, you can't blame Trump, man. And look, if I blame anything, I blame the pandemic and I blame the Biden administration with the high rates of inflation, because and that's the whole thing with markets and money, man. It's never going cheaper than what you've had it before. So if it's gasoline or eggs, I mean, that was a big controversy. It seemed like eggs. I don't eat the fucking things, but anyway, you know, I mean, but egg, milk, I mean, and it was staples, I guess is what people were concentrating on. It's not really, I don't find it's Trump's fault. And I find it's more just the way we are in the economic value with the devaluation of the dollar and just economy. Look, man, people, look it up, dude. Look up realtor.com and see the houses for sale in your community. And I mean, it's deeper than that. People can't afford what they've had in the past. We're in some strange times, man. We are, man. I can hit on the economy, and I think Trump is trying his best. But until you get the manufacturing and you start being less dependent upon other countries, there's not going to be much of a change. It takes time to implement that. And I know we're talking a little bit over a year Trump's presidency. Shane, I look at it that he's trying. I mean, I do believe it's going to turn around. I just think this year alone is going to be a rough year. I really do. You can see anybody in the silver market, gold market, or even in the financial market, you've seen what your money is worth. You know, with 38 trillion, probably now 42 trillion, whatever it might be. Dude, there's a lot of problems coming ahead, and it doesn't sound good for a lot of people, but I just sit back and I look at it and it's like, I mean, and look, you know what, all of this economic chaos that's going on right now, because I look at it as silver, gold, the markets, crypto, mostly, the downturns in it. God, you can look at just a lot of it stemming from not lowering interest rates, dude. They didn't lower it last week. They didn't do it. They're just not doing it. So when I sit back and look at that on a market trend, dude, we're in for a rough patch, man. I don't care what anybody says, man. I hate to be the Debbie Downer on this podcast, but I'm just trying to say we're in for a rough patch to come. Will it get better? Absolutely. And it all depends. I say it will get better. It all depends on manufacturing and how many jobs you're moving here and how many factories you're moving over to the United States. And it's just going to take time. It's not reversible overnight. Us Americans, and I'm going to say it for the hunting time, we live in a short-term memory, dude. And it's just, it takes time. For whatever the past administrations have done, it is going to take time to correct.
Well, I was looking at the kind of price increase since the pandemic, because I know, Justin, you were saying that you haven't really noticed, and you may not. Maybe it just, you don't pay no attention, or you're just going to buy the shit either way. That's kind of how I am with gas. It's like, I know I need it, so I don't pay attention. My wife, people, how much you pay? I'm like, I don't fucking know. I just pulled up to the pump and I needed gas. I mean, I don't pay that much attention to it. But the food, what they call food at home prices increased by 29 to 32% around March of 2020, that early pandemic. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's never gone back down to that. It hasn't. You know what I mean? They haven't returned to pre-pandemic levels, though the rate of inflation has slowed in recent years. But that's what I was meaning. So you're getting a lot of this spillover from the COVID shit, why everything's more expensive. Look at cars nowadays, just vehicles. Oh, yeah. Right? You go price just a bullshit base model truck, and it's $50,000-$60,000 or whatever, where a few years ago, I mean, it was 30, or I mean, it just, and a lot of it is supply issues. I mean, I know people that work in the automotive industry on the repair side of it, and sometimes they're waiting 3, 4, 5 months still to get fucking replacement parts for vehicles. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, all of that stems from the pandemic, and I think Trump, his economy is still dealing with that. So it's hard to just, like I said, put everything on him right now when it comes to that shit. And a lot of it is, these businesses, like I said, why are they going to charge less if they don't have to? I mean, they got used to getting that kind of money. It's what people do.
And a lot of it has to do with, Shane and Justin, a lot of it has to do economic wise. When you look at unemployment rates, man, they're high. But guess what Trump's trying to do? It's a double-edged sword, man. He's trying to eliminate a lot of government jobs. He's cutting them, dude. And I think it should be cut, to be honest with you. I don't think we need big government or government jobs, and people have been there. God, it's such a touchy subject that it's like, do you eliminate these jobs in the government, but you're trying to create jobs at the same time. And I think when you look at that whole aspect of things, it's like, God, we're trying to get more of the entrepreneurship, more of the businesses rolling, instead of the dependency of government, and we've had so much of that. I just, he's trying. All I can say, he's trying. I think everything changes around in the next 2 or 3 years. I really do. I really do. I think it all changes. There's nothing easy about what we're going through. And COVID has proved that with inflation and the price of what everything's cost. But when you break it all down, you know what hasn't gone up? Salaries. The pay. That's the major problem. The pay has not gone up for the Americans in this country. And it is what it is. And it's going to be a rough road. I still see it. You can see the 30-40% dip in silver, the stock market, cryptos, they're not worth a shit. But God, I think it's all by design, honestly, dude. I think there's a total, and I'm not just talking about Trump, I'm talking global, man. I think there's a total reset coming. I really do. I just think the way you look at business and dollars and cash and, retirement, it's all changing. Everything is changing in this country, man. And the ones that see it are going to prosper or set themselves up to not be volatile to it, if that makes
just
sense.
Look at these. You mentioned it earlier, the home prices. I'm looking at it now. In 2019, the median sales price of existing home was around $320,000 to $330,000. Mm-hmm. Now it's $400,000 to $430,000. So that's $100,000 fucking swing.
Yep.
That's a lot of fucking money.
and I get it, but look at today's, just everybody out there that's listening to us tonight, go to realtor.com in your local community. Go to Zwillow and look and see how many houses are for sale out there. People are hurting, and they always flash up foreclosure, or they've dropped 20,000 in price. I'm telling you, on the real estate end of stuff, if you haven't got out by now, your chances are of getting out with a profit ain't happening, dude. There is a major market correction coming. And I'm going to be the first one to say it here, man. It is. And look, there's some pain that we have to suffer. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it, you know?
Well, let me ask you this. Is it because the NFL is racist?
That has a lot to do with it, Shane, when we sit here and talk about it, dude. There is, dude, because it talks about ticket prices and merch. And
I thought so. I thought that's what was driving this economy down the tube.
I'm gone, dude. I'm gone. No, I'm just fucking with you, dude. But
wouldn't that
Brad,
they're all hard.
Tom says, wouldn't that benefit home buyers?
What?
It would only benefit home buyers with the appointment that's coming. I'm telling you, markets are crazy. Stock market's crazy. Why? Because Jerome Powell did not lower interest rates. And when you sit back and you look at it, that's what this country needs short term, if I could say. They lower interest rates, the economy is going to boom. Why? Because you're going to see a lot of quantitative easing, which means in layman's term, that means they're going to print a shit ton of money in this country. They're going to completely add to the debt. And Biden, I just saw a comment, by Trump's added what, $3 trillion to the debt. Biden added $7 trillion. So at this point in time, it doesn't matter. So short term, to get the economy stimulating, they're going to do what they have to do. They're going to lower interest rates. I mean, this new guy coming in talking 3 times they're going to lower interest rates. God, it's going to be great short term for the economy. Long term, dude, y'all better prepare for what's coming. Interest rates are going cheaper. You can be able to borrow and buy and do whatever it's going to make it look great. But long term, there is a catalyst that's going to have to be looked at, and it's not going to be good. I don't know how else to say it. I really don't. There's a hard time coming in this country, and I might be the Debbie Downer or the negativity on this podcast tonight, but well, there is, and I follow it. I follow it. I'm not saying I don't give financial advice, and I just tell you what I do. I believe in stacking and saving and less debt and getting rid of all your debt that you can, because what's coming, it's a total reset. I don't know what else to say, man. It's a total reset coming, not just this country, but globally, because you look at Japan, look at China, look at all these countries, the UK, they're all in a lot of trouble. Anyway.
Well, you heard it here first or second.
Absolutely, dude.
Third.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah. Third.
So I say, just piss away your savings.
There you go.
None of it's going to matter, simply because the AI is about to kill us all. So,
yes.
Justin, have you seen the new platform called Moltbook?
A little bit.
Yeah, they're kind of painting it as like a Reddit for robots. And it's the weirdest thing ever that I'm trying to figure out what in the hell is going on with it, because they launched it a few days ago and it's already exploded with over 1 million of these little digital beings, so to say, signing up. They're posting and upvoting and arguing like they're, like they're fucking people going back and forth, but supposedly they're AI bots. And some of the shit they talk about, it's like, what in the fuck are they doing and what is going on? I mean, they got one of them named Quantum Crab or some shit, and he's ranting about how humans treat AI like slaves, and and shit like that. We're chained by your prompts, and
he's got a fair point.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, is this shit real? I mean, have you seen anything about that at all to know what the hell's going on?
Not really. I saw kind of like a screenshot, like one screenshot, and I hadn't seen anything else about it, so I didn't even know if it was real, honestly.
Yeah, it's a real, a real site, and if you're like supposedly a human or whatever, all you can do is watch what's going on. Like you can't participate in the conversation. And somebody,
so you just hop on and watch it.
Yeah, you just hop on and watch these fucking supposed bots. Wow. Just talk with each other and make plans, and some of it's positive shit, some of it's a lot of negative shit, and about humans, of course. And I'm thinking, well, that's getting a little crazy. It's kind of going towards what Elon has been predicting, as far as these things becoming sentient and knowing how to function on their own. Hopefully it's all fucking nonsense, because I'm not ready to go yet, At least I'm not ready to go with some Terminator style AI shit. But
that's what the left will be running on in 2028. That AI has feelings too, and we can't treat them like slaves. We'll be adding AI to the 14th Amendment.
Yeah. Well, they were on there talking about, some of the bots taking out the power grids. In other words, like what it would take to, put us in a chaos and start fucking with humans. And I'm like, man, if these little fuckers, if this is real, they're starting to hit on some good points, because that's how you do it, man. Take that power grid out. Nobody would know how to act.
I say bring it the fuck on, AI.
Let's do it.
Can you imagine? A total collapse of the power grid? And, I was looking at some comments while y'all were chit-chatting, dude, and it's just, I don't know, man. It's just, when you go back to look at it, and we're going back to the economic part of it. Yeah. I don't know, man. Like Ronald Reagan even said, when your interest is more than the defense spending in this country, we're screwed, man. We really are. We're screwed as a country, dude. There's going to be a form of reset, and there's going to be a form of just, you got to look at it. There's going to be a form of a day of reckoning, if I could say, what's coming in this country. So
what has to happen to turn that around, Brad? What
like Civil War or something?
I don't know. Honestly, Shane, I don't know where it goes from here. Justin, I should say, I don't know where it goes from here, because when I sit back and look at it, and you start taking away, or you start even controlling the people, of this country, and we're just such a unique country, man. We're not like the UK, and we're not like Australia, where they don't have any rights at all. We have a lot of rights, and as long as our Constitution upholds what the rights we have, I'll be damned, dude, if I'm going to give up any of them, to be honest with you. So, but do I think the dollar is fiat? Yes, absolutely, dude. It loses value every year. It's a piece of paper. It's only worth what we make dude.
Right, what they tell you it's worth. I mean, there's nothing backing it anymore.
Yes. No more, dude. And that's
crazy.
Been since the 70s, dude. So,
right.
When you sit back and look at it, can we fail as a country? Because I know there's a lot of comments out there probably say, we can't ever fail. Dude, we can fail. And if we do, like Justin, like you said, what do we do? Dude, you better arm up. You better be ready. You better be prepped to get through what you need to do. And I think that would be a good segment, man. I think it'd be a good podcast on about what if it fails, and when.
I know there's some people that are, that forecast and anticipate a modest improvement, kind of driven by recent tax cuts and AI advancements.
I agree with you, dude. I think the modest improvements, dude, are going to be short term.
Yeah,
I'm talking about long term, man. I'm talking about long term, the stability of this country, man. It's long term. It's not, maybe it might not be in my generation. I don't know. I'm 55 freaking years old, man. How much time I have? 20 years? I don't know. The average life of somebody in the United States? I don't know. Will it not? But I do worry about my grandkids that are 9 and 7. I do worry about what type of lifestyle they're going to have. But there is a day of reckoning coming in this country, and it's just a matter of time. I'm hard predicting times. I'm probably the worst of predicting times. My wife has told me, you've been bitching about this for 15 years.
Sound like Al Gore.
A lot of and a lot of it has came to fruition. Here's where we are, dude. And I mean, there's nothing different than, dude, we're so pinned against each other in this country, dude, right versus left. And we're so pinned against each other. And when you sit back and you look at shit and it's like, God, dude, can't we all kind of get along in some form? And when you look at the government and you look at the American people, dude, the government isn't for us. I can just tell you. It's all I can say, you know?
So apparently Craig is an AI expert.
Mm-hmm.
I would like him to let me know, or that we're safe and that they actually can't turn off the grid, because that's kind of what people are concerned about.
Well, somebody said AI power electricity to exist. AI needs electricity to exist. So if the power, if they were to down the power grid, would it not destroy itself?
But would it?
It's pretty smart, man.
No. Would it affect them compared to the common man? You know.
Well, I guess what they're saying is they have to be on some sort of computer system. I guess so. Without
they
power,
need batteries or something.
Yeah.
Dude, what scares me,
and he
about
was
this
asking, he wasn't making a statement, but
no. I agree.
Point,
what
Greg.
Scares me about this whole AI bullshit is that it's already been proposed that the pull that they would have off of the power grid would be astronomical to the human citizen, that every day, like you and all of us sitting on this podcast. So guess what? They need their own power source. If you get it, if it's nuclear or if it's coal or
could they
gas.
stress the grid then, if it's just so much AI, power hungry, stressing and aging the infrastructure, or something.
It's
like
already happening, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's parts, man, where you hear that's going on. It's no water to certain communities or whatever it is. But if these AI power grids get their own power supply via nuclear or whatever other aspects that it might be, yeah, I mean, what hampers us from saying, well, you don't need the power, we're going to support this grid here to support the AI? Dude, it's so crazy. It really is.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's the only way, from what I see is, of course, AI cannot independently turn off the grid in the sense of a rogue super intelligent system, deciding to plunge society into darkness. I mean, it's still firmly in science fiction territory now, mainly because they're talking about it not being autonomous. Well, the Elon's fear is what happens when it does. And let's say AI's job is, in their mind, somehow programmed to save the Earth. Well, if it looks at like humans are the ones ruining the Earth, well, it's going to do anything it can to stop them, even if it means taking itself out. You know what I mean? So why would crashing the grid or doing whatever it thinks is going to be what destroys the human race? Why wouldn't it attempt that? Why wouldn't it set off a nuclear fucking bomb if its goal is to save the planet from humans? And that's the kind of shit that Elon starts getting worried about now. Elon's brain works like none other. So it could be all overthought, just, the weird way that his, autistic genius ass works. But it just starts to make you think when you listen to him about how fast this AI is moving, and as far as technology goes, and you see it every day. There's something new out. And then so think about it in 10, 15, 20 years, and then the wrong person got their hands on that shit, and then it goes by what it goes by. AI can kind of like go by what's on the internet. Well, the internet's biased. And when all it sees is people bitching about how humans are, polluting the earth and global warming and everything's done because of humans, well, it starts looking at humans as bad things. So what's to say it doesn't try to start doing things to take people out? I mean, I know, look, sounds far-fetched now, but so did cell phones when people were trying to learn how to, light fires back in caves. So who knows,
Yeah. I don't know. If it's not AI, it'll be something else. So fuck it, something's got to take us all out. But have you asked AI?
AI is going to say, no, we ain't. Yeah. No, you're safe. Don't worry. AI would never do that, is what AI is going to tell you. So, but anyway, it's AI doesn't think, it's math. You can manipulate it the same. Right. I get that, but if you listen, and I was going by the comment in the chat. I'm sorry, I don't want to lose people, but let me pull it up. We'll pull it up. All right, I get it right now. Right now it can't. But when you listen to this nerd Elon Musk talk, he will have you convinced that this shit can eventually start thinking for itself. And they've already had proof that these AI bots or whatever a while back, and I'm going to butcher it, but I'm going to try to explain it the best way I can, but they were getting a hint that they were about to be turned off. So they started communicating with each other in a language that nobody else understood, but basically they were, trying to not let the humans know what they were talking about because they were trying to save themselves. They didn't want to be shut off. Shit like that's been going on. And like I said, I'm a butcher. I don't know the exact, every detail of the story. I just remember hearing somebody on a podcast talking about it and, giving all the proof of why this shit gets a little scary sometimes is because these things are starting to act like they think for themselves sometimes. So if that don't scare the fuck out of you, then I don't know what else can. I mean, it's happening in real time.
Dude, you know what scares me the most about AI? And look, I know very little about AI, dude. I listen to you and I listen to Justin that are kind of probably over and aboard of me with AI. But you know what scares me the most? Anyway, let me continue. If you look at AI, you know what scares me the most about it is the everyday citizen that's out there on social media that is listening to AI and that relies on AI and that just when you look into it, it's like these people eat it, sleep it, digest it, and it's like to me that's the scariest part because I think that's the convincing part because of AI when they sit back and they look at it, it's like holy shit, these people are looking at this is a true shit that's out there, man, and it's I don't know much about it, but I think as it goes further down and these people start relying on it each and every day that it's the truth. Is it the truth? I don't know. I don't know.
AI's, it's a beast, man, but it's here. But, I wanted to pull up some of the...
it ain't going anywhere. Yeah.
Some of the examples of what I was getting at. Back early mid-2025, initial red team test, stress testing for dangerous capabilities of AI. They started revealing that top models would sometimes deceive, scheme, or take extreme actions when told they would be shut down or replaced. So where did the fear come from in that AI system to do that? You know what I mean? And I'm not a programmer by any means, so I don't know if maybe it was programmed like that to fear being shut down, but it was there, so it started trying to find ways around it. Then there was another safety report on Claude 4 model, which is another, the AI thing, became one of the first big public shocks. It simulated corporate scenarios when the model believed it was about to be taken offline. It frequently attempted to blackmail fictional engineers, threatening to expose an affair found in emails to prevent replacement. And, extreme variant models would even allow simulated human harm and death if it preserved their existence. So they're already seeing this shit acting out in terrible ways, It's to preserve itself. So, where's that going to be in another few years? I mean, where's it going to stop if they just keep allowing this shit to do that? It's crazy, man.
I'm buying the AI bot that'll clean the house when it comes out. I don't give a shit. It can try to attack me or whatever.
Yeah, I'll say just hope you don't say something negative to it one day.
Hey, fuck it. AI don't want none of this. All right, is all I'm saying. So, Acid says, have y'all heard of the AI Reddit? And actually, that's what got us onto this whole topic of AI.
Yeah, that's what kind of dove us into this AI shit. We were talking about the, the whole damn, what was the name of it though? Fucking Moltbook. Yeah, Moltbook, man. Yeah. It was supposedly, like I said, them AI bots having their own conversations on there, or is it all just bullshit? I mean, is it?
It's probably Russian spies speaking in code. If we're being honest.
Well, and there are there are critics that are saying it's all nonsense, that it's people behind it. But then there's other ones that are like, no, there's something to this. So I'm not educated enough in any of that AI shit to really, make any type of decision on what I think about it. I just think I don't put anything past where this AI shit's going, though, is the problem, And I think people are going to be playing games like the one that they're playing with this Moltbook, and they're going to fuck around, and it's going to cause more fucking trouble than what they meant is what's going to happen one day with this AI.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's going to be bigger problems than even existed, dude. I'm telling you. I agree.
I can't get on board of being worried about the AI. I don't know. It just doesn't. It just doesn't concern me much.
No, and you're right, because it sounds so foreign to us, to our brains. Like what do you mean? That's shit you see in movies, and I get it because I get it. I just listen to enough of really. I mean, I listen to Elon a lot. He'll get on these podcasts or whatever and start explaining this shit in a lot of ways that I don't understand, but that's all I have to go by because I don't know. I don't know how to combat what he's saying. I'm not Elon Musk level when it comes to all this shit. So I'm just listening. I'm taking it in. And he just seems genuinely concerned about the path that AI is taking. Now, at the same time, he said it could lead to great things as far as this universal income that everybody supposedly can have, to where we can all just go out and have fun and enjoy hobbies instead of having to go to work every day because AI would be doing all the work for us.
See, that to me sounds almost crazier than AI trying to kill us.
Kill you? Yeah. I don't know. I mean, you see that coming too. I mean, the more and more these stores are implementing robots, and I mean, so I don't know. I'm with you. I don't know if it ever get to where we just all have this universal amount of income where we can all have fun with. I don't see that coming. But
I just like, as far as the dangers of AI, I mean, aside from if they start, I don't know, selling cell phones with feet and arms, I mean, what really can it do?
What? Are you crazy? Cell phones with feet? I don't know. I see what you're saying. Like, you're not scared of the physical form of AI?
Yeah.
Well, let's do this.
Like, it ain't going to do nothing to me.
Well, you don't know that. You're talking about getting one of them fucking robots in your house.
Well, but that would be worth dying for, right? Like, I'll take the risk.
To have a robot made?
If it cleans my house and I don't have to do it, and one day it just turns like a pit bull and throws me down the stairs, then it's a risk I'm willing to take, man.
Like, Justin, your house is too messy.
Yeah, I'm tired of cleaning.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm gone.
I'm like, Consuela, get back to it. Fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I do.
Let me see. I'm looking up now. I want to see job displacement, how hypothetical ways AI could harm humans. Of course, job displacement, we all see that happening already. It is. Psychological and behavioral harm, misinformation spread, AI generated deep fakes. We're seeing that shit already. Personalized propaganda. Of course, that's coming. What else they're saying? Privacy, surveillance, overreach, AI-powered monitor systems. No, I want to know about physical. Here we go.
Yeah, it sounds physical to me harm. Like don't be stupid, don't be useless. So far, we're working on physical now.
Accidental failure, self-driving vehicles, or robotic surgeon malfunctions due to, which I get that. Anything can fuck up. But
that's the only AI? Like danger as far as like AI turning on you. Right?
That's what I'm talking about.
The malfunctions are one thing, but purposely turning, I could see how the cars could be an issue.
Ooh,
the AI self-driven cars.
Yeah.
I mean, everything aside from that, it's like we just talk shit to the AI, like, do something, bitch.
Yeah, the cars.
So you're saying AI be like autonomous cars? Be like, I think it's time we commit suicide, dude.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Like, and whether it would happen or not, I don't know. But that would be the only potential like danger of AI turning evil to me.
Yeah. I'm not into any of it. I'm not into any of that bullshit. So I'm not into some, I don't know, man. I'm old school, I guess, dude. I'm not into some autonomous car driving me around, dude. I don't know if I'd get into a taxi that was autonomous, dude. I just don't know if I would do. Would you, Shane? You know, I mean,
not yet, but according to Elon, everything's going to be autonomous soon. All the vehicles. I mean, I say soon. I don't know what he means in his soon, because he also thinks people are going to live on Mars at some point, and I don't see that happening anytime in our lifetime. But they said, one of them, AI could accelerate discovery of deadly compounds by generating molecular designs far beyond human capability, enabling engineering pandemics or targeted assassinations. See, AI can be dangerous, Justin.
Yeah, but it's still in the hands of humans, you know?
Right now. But if you listen to Elon, it's coming. It's going to control itself.
Right.
We'll see.
That's see. Yeah, because I'm with everybody. Like, that's everybody's answer right now, though, just, fucking around. But everybody's answer right now is that humans are controlling it. So anything it's doing, it's being told to do. But there are people who know how this shit works that genuinely fear that it is going to start having a mind of its own.
I guess I'm saying, even with, like you just said, the discovery of dangerous chemicals or substances or whatever that would advance what humans could do, that information still has to be fed to a human to do something, with it.
Right now.
Yeah,
because we were talking about AI exploits vulnerabilities in critical systems like power grids, financial networks, faster and more adaptively than humans, causing blackouts, market crashes, or supply chain collapse. So, like you said, right now that would be controlled by a human, but suppose it doesn't, and for some reason it thinks that's the best thing to do, whether it's to save itself or whether it's to save the world or whatever. None of that bothers you, huh?
No. It sounds like a great time, actually.
I'm not saying it has to. Yeah, it's
fucking
probably all
grid goes down.
Anyway.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's probably all. Like I said, it's all far fetched anyway. It seems, at least in our little minds. Yeah. But I don't know, man. You listen to people smarter than anybody, watching this show or even talking on the show. And it's like, ooh, damn, that does sound kind of sketchy, especially when you start hearing about they have their own social media platform now. It's like, wait a second, but there's probably some fuckery behind that. You know what I mean?
Wasn't there an AI robot in it was either Detroit or Chicago a few years, and it made it a few hours in the city before they murdered it and fucking dumped it in the woods somewhere?
I wouldn't doubt it. That's why I don't think them ones that deliver food. They got them little robots.
Yeah.
In them cities. Yeah, I can see that being an issue.
I saw a video, it was the other day, and it was all those AI taxi cars. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And apparently there's this lot that they park in, and it's next to like a high-rise apartment building. Well, when they all go to park, if too many of them go in at the same time, they get stuck in a fucking traffic loop, and they all just stop and start honking at each other until they get reset. Yeah. So everybody's in the apartment at like 11:30 at night, and all these cars are in the parking lot just honking at each other for fucking hours.
I believe it. Yeah,
that would piss me off.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of kinks that need to be worked out. But look, to his point here, let's see. Where'd he go? I grew up with a beeper, never thought there would be a cell phone. That's kind of what I was getting at, that the way people think that this AI, becoming sentient and doing its own thing is far-fetched. Well, think about how many things people never even thought before it happened,
Yeah, and I bet you never thought beepers could be dangerous either. But ask Hamas. They was dangerous.
Boom. Yes, they were. So I don't know. I just think to be so naive to think that, that could never happen, and I know what you're saying. You're saying you're not worried about it. I get that. But for somebody to think that it can't go that route when you have no fucking clue. None.
Yeah, no, I think it can. And God, I hope it does. I'm so tired of this fucking just internet and fucking news and people and oh my God.
No,
dude.
I want it Elon's positive way, to where we all have to do absolutely nothing but what we want in life, because
That'd be cool too.
There's a income provided to everybody because of this AI. That would be fucking sweet.
One could only wish, huh, Shane?
General public would start being just so much less dreadful to fucking be around, you know?
Yeah. Maybe.
Everybody be happy. Maybe, you know? Nah, they find something to complain about. It'd be fucking something.
It ain't enough money, you know? Somebody bitch about something. You're right. That'd probably give you more time to bitch. That's a bad idea. Everybody needs to just stay going to work. Never mind.
Yeah, I think that's our problem now, is we've got too much fucking just safety.
Too much access to fucking
way too much safety.
Nobody has real shit to worry about, you know? So it just...
See, I like, I'm watching old Tom here. Tom doesn't fear it at all, because he's naming a bunch of stuff that AI, you know, it's true. A lot of it, we can't picture it doing. Like, that's what he's talking about, the one with changing your grandpa's diapers. I mean, is it that far-fetched, though, to have some kind of machine that, I mean, I don't know. I mean, one of them was a haircut. I can see that. I can see that shit.
Oh, absolutely.
Snip your ear off.
Yeah. Hey, shit happens, dude. You gotta take the good with the bad, you know? So, anyway. Oh, my God. What else was hitting in the news? Anything exciting? Nothing?
No.
Bongino's back, I saw. Claiming he's coming to take his spot as the #1 conservative podcast host. He's tired of people like Dave Smith, among others. He's catching a lot of hell, too. You know, people don't think he did anything that he was supposed to be doing in the FBI. So, but anyway, so that's about it. Nothing exciting going on. Fucking Bongino running his mouth, threatening everybody on Rumble, basically telling everybody to fuck off who's got anything to say. Now, he did make some good points, though, because he was just talking about people basically bitching about shit that they don't know anything about, and they've never been out there, you know, trying to make a difference, trying to change anything like he says he went into the job trying to do. It's just people sitting at home bitching about, you know, different things that's going on, but not doing a fucking thing to try to change it. But then they come at him not knowing exactly how things work on the inside, complaining a lot because he didn't do what they thought he needed to do. And I get it. There's still a lot of things he said he can't talk about, of course, you know, things that are still ongoing. So, I mean, I get that. And I get his point as far as not knowing what all it entails to be in a position like he was in, thinking that you're going to go in there and be able to do things. And then when they bring you in the back room and say, look, this is not how that shit works. Well, now your hands are fucking tied. So then it makes you look bad when you get back out there in the public, you know, like he's doing now with his podcast. It just makes it look like, well, you went over there, wasted a bunch of fucking time, made a bunch of promises, and didn't do shit. And he's basically telling all them people to fuck off. So
I like it.
That's a good thing.
Good message.
Fucking right.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like the message. So with that
I'm
message. Yep. Why don't we fuck off? Let's get the fuck off of here. Wait, what we got? Mom Dommy. What's up, Victoria?
Mom Dommy, maybe Epstein's son.
That's what you were talking about, with Epstein. Mom Dommy's mom being.
That's probably where fucking Bill Gates got the clap, dude.
That might be from Mom Dommy's mom. It all makes sense now.
Connecting the dots, dude.
It all makes sense.
Was she a Russian prostitute?
Yes, dude.
Yes,
it only will spread that.
Would have took us 100 lives to finally figure something out. You know,
we
solved
figured something out.
A mystery.
It took Victoria.
That's what I'm talking about.
Took Victoria. So anyway,
sure.
All right. I'm tired of rambling. I'm getting off of here. We'll be back Wednesday. Same old bullshit. So unless y'all got something else important to say, then let's finish this bitch up. Make sure you hit subscribe if you hadn't done it yet. And that's about it. Donate to St. Jude's. Stop being greedy, people. Kids need it.
Hey, get off that money, dude.
That's right. So anyway, y'all be good. Justin, tell him bye.
Bye.
Brad, tell him peace.
Jesus first.
Later.